You're listening to WP Living with a WordPress tutorial, and I want to call this one 5 Things to Consider Before You Buy a Premium WordPress Theme. And I'm doing this video for the following reason. There are so many premium WordPress themes out there, so many developers, so many options to think about, that it's all too easy to end up with a theme you don't actually use. But a little bit of homework and some common sense before clicking the buy button will go a long way to avoiding that scenario. And I've got 5 things that I want to share with you that you might consider before buying your premium theme, and I hope these are of some help. So let's get to it. My first tip is about known issues. Are you being used as a guinea pig for this theme to try it out, to test it out, to see whether there are bugs with it? Or does it have a track record, and is the company on the ball and releasing frequent updates and addressing issues and bugs? There are several ways of finding out about this. And the first and most easy way is to just look at the comments sections associated with each theme's release. Usually developers will announce the release of a new theme on their blog, or in the case of marketplaces there will be an area in which you can check for comments. And so if we take the example of ThemeForest, you can go to the front page, the WordPress page of ThemeForest, find the theme you're interested in, and then look at the comments section for that theme. And there, if you scan through the comments, you'll get a sense of some of the recurring problems. And you'll also get a sense of whether or not this theme has real trouble. Another way of doing that is to look at the rating signs on these themes, although the ratings tend to come much later on, so it's not always a reliable source of information. But here you can see 5 stars on this theme, 5 stars on this theme. But yes, that's one way of doing it. If we look at, for example, Woo Themes, they run a support forum, and that's a good place to check also for problems with themes. And you can just go to their forums, find the theme you're interested in, and then click on that forum entry, and then check out some of the problems that are being listed there by users of the theme. Another way is going to Twitter search. If you go to twitter.com and then /search and enter the title of the theme and or the theme developer, the company, there you can get a sense also of what people are saying about that theme. Is it getting praise? Is it getting negative comments? You know, get a feel. Generally, the point is get a feel for your theme before you buy it. Have a look into any issues that are going on. Very much like on eBay, you want to find out what the track record of the seller is on eBay before buying something. Well, you should do the same when buying a premium theme. That's tip 1. Let's move on to tip 2. Tip 2 is related to controls. Does the theme do what I need it to do? And how can I tell if it does or it doesn't? Well, there are a couple of ways of doing this. The first is to check whether the developer or designer has presented enough visual information about the admin panel, the admin side of the theme. Is there a demo version of the admin side of the theme? Or is there an extensive list of the theme's options? Are they all written out? And does that list or that demo version or that screenshot answer any queries you have about requirements for the theme? Can it do this? Can it do that? If it doesn't answer your query, then you should get in touch with the developer. And this will be a very good thing to do in general anyway, is to see how forthcoming, how willing the developer is to answer your questions, because that will give you a sense in the future, if you need trouble support, how quick you're going to get a response, how keen and eager the developer is to help you out. Another way of looking at it is just to go through again the website material and just to see whether there's documentation available and whether there are videos available or whether there is a downloadable PDF. Quite often developers will release documentation for free, and it's usually freely accessible. Sometimes they do cover it because it becomes part of their premium package, but if it is free and available, Just have a look at the documentation and see how well that's put together and whether that doesn't answer any questions you have. And finally, you could go back to those comment sections and those forum threads and check to see if anyone else has asked a question about your particular concern as to whether the theme does this or that. That's tip 2. Let's move on to tip 3. Tip 3 is about alternatives. Have you explored the alternatives to the theme you're looking at? For example, have you looked for free theme alternatives? That's a little bit more tricky because if you rely solely on Google search to find free themes, be careful because you run the risk of downloading and installing a theme with some form of malware or some script in the theme embedded in it that you might not be aware of, and that can cause problems down the line. So if you are looking for free themes, make sure you go either via the WordPress.org theme repository or via premium theme developers who have released premium themes. Usually they can be reliable and trustworthy. Have you also explored alternatives among the other premium themes? So that is to say, is the theme you're looking at really unique? Does it fulfill the requirements you have? Or if you're kind of in two minds about it, or you feel that it's a little bit too general, why not shop around and have a look at some alternatives and get a feel for differences? It's usually by contrast that we end up selecting the right thing, right? So it makes sense to have a look at a number of themes. That's my point 3. Let's move on to point 4. Point 4 is to sleep on it. It's the basic rule to sleep on it. All too often when we're looking for a premium theme, we kind of buy on impulse. And that's one of the biggest reasons or factors behind ending up with a theme that you never use. It's because you bought it on impulse. And some of the reasons why you might buy on impulse include things like, well, it had a lot of eye candy in the demo version, and that was really attractive, and there was a bit of buzz around the theme release, and people were saying good things about it, and that prompted you to just go ahead and buy it without really considering what you need the theme for. And so that's the rule about sleep on it, is find a number of themes that you like, think about them, see whether they fulfill your requirements, sleep on it, and then if you return in the morning and you still feel the same attraction, the same need, and the same logic applies to your selection, then go with that. Otherwise, usually you'll find the next morning, the next day, you will have lost interest somewhat, and that will be a good gauge, a good sense for you to determine whether or not the theme is the right one. Okay, that's point 4. Let's move to the final point, number 5. So number 5 is, finally, if you go through those motions, go through those questions and do your homework, but you're still on the fence by the end of it all, you still don't know which theme to go with, well then this is the final answer really. There are a couple of things you might do or you might consider. The first is to just wait it out, wait for a week or so. So many themes are being released on a daily basis that chances are the right one you're looking for will come up sooner or later. That's just the law of averages. So do wait if you can. If you can't, if you're really pressed for time and you're looking for a theme for a particular project, then you might ask for help. You might ask other people for advice. Get some third-party opinion on it. And one of the ways you can do that, and I offer it for free, is if you go to the WP Living website, there is an Ask Me section. Click on the link and you'll see an Ask Me box, question box. Enter your question there, your email, and I'll help you out for free. No problem at all. I'll do what I can. I'll try my best. As you can see, there are some questions that have previously been asked here, and I list those questions that are useful to the WordPress community in general. So that's one way of doing it. There are other forums in which you can ask questions. The WordPress official forums is a good place also to get a sense of new themes and so on, and also on the developer's website as well. And that's about it. Those are my 5 points of advice for choosing a WordPress premium theme, things to think about before you go ahead and click that buy button. So good luck in choosing your theme. I hope this has been of some help. If you like the video, please subscribe on YouTube, and please get in touch with me and let me know what you think. Do you have other tips that could be useful to other people about buying themes? What's your experience been so far? What are some of the pitfalls you've encountered? Any feedback would be really, really helpful. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.